Hello again, friends and fans. Raptor here, and welcome back to Farming Simulator 2019, where we're testing out the beta. Version 1.2, we're now terraforming, and landscaping tools are available so you can build your own farm to your liking. We've got $50 million in the bank, and we're going to buy some territory and set up our own fully functioning farm, so that way we can make everything custom to our own desires and our own goals as a farmer. If you haven't already, make sure you go ahead and click or tap that like button and subscribe if you're new here to see more. Of course, you can do this in version 1.2, which should be coming to consoles and PC very soon, and I'll show you exactly how everything works and what all the features are here today. So welcome to everyone subscribing. We're going to do this here in the Ravenport map, but of course we can also do it in Fildsbrum. We're going to first put down a farmhouse, and I'm going to show you how everything works, and then we're going to go into a time lapse of me designing our very own farm, changing all the roadways around, and really making things to our own liking. So without further ado, let's get started. If you go into the buy menu, there's a new option on the far right that looks like a shovel. If you click on that, that's called landscaping, and if you click start landscaping, boom, there's all the tools that you got. On the left side, you can see that you can raise and lower and smooth and flatten land, and you can also paint the land as well, but first we'll have to own it. So let's spend a little bit of money on buying the territory that we want to invest in, and we can make all sorts of changes, from putting down actual asphalt roadways to making a nice driveway for our house, and even making vehicle parking areas, or even a large silo here. Again, if we wanted to, we could put down a chicken coop and perhaps a sheep farm and make this only for our sheep and build our farm elsewhere. But I think this is the perfect spot to build our own farm. So let's get started then. We're going to go right into the buy menu and purchase 3 areas of land: farm 19, 24, 25, 26, and then the area up here as well, so we can fiddle around with the roadway. So boom, right now we're almost investing in $1 million just in land purchases, and with $290 million there, we're going to purchase our last one, or rather $49 million, almost $1 million in land. All right, well, that's going by quick. Now, also for terraforming, just so you know, you also have to spend a little bit of money on that too. So if you have a little bit of cash and you need to do a little bit of terraforming, it's not too overly expensive. But we can see here that there's multiple roadways here. There's not all the small tools that I want to see yet. For example, building fences or putting down power lines. I'd love to see the ability to do all that stuff. But at least we're able to flatten out land and make structures look a lot nicer. So let's get to it then. I think we're going to build our farmhouse right here. I think it's a perfect spot that's almost right in the middle of our territory and back here for us to build a farmhouse. So let's get to it then. We're going to go into the buy menu. Actually, wait a minute. No, let's terraform to start with. Let's go ahead and press the middle mouse button so we can smooth out some of the land here. If we press middle mouse button, you can see this large little orb here. We can change that between a flat land marker or a large orb. This is where you'll be doing your painting. And so for those of you who really are creative and want to do this, it's definitely up to you to do it. So let's start with this. We can increase our brush size too if we want to, which is perfect for making little areas for porches or for deliveries, that kind of thing. So we're going to design our house here, and I think we're going to try to first kind of smooth and flatten out some of the land, and then let's put our house down like right over here. So let's go back into the purchase menu. We're going to buy ourselves a farmhouse, and let's go ahead and plop this down. I think if we rotate it this way, we're going to really make a nice area for our porch and our farmhouse, maybe an area to park on. So let's go ahead and do that right here, right now. And boom, there's our house. Check that out. Very nice looking. Now, what will make this house look even more realistic is if we make dirt paths that go around it and make everything blend together. So let's go back to our landscaping tool. And first and foremost, let's go ahead and blend some of this land together. Again, you can change your brush size, and really helps to make everything blend together nicely. There we go. And we'll kind of make this maybe a grassy area, so that way it blends together a little bit more realistically. So let's switch over to painting, and if you press tab, you can see over here the ground type that we can make everything look a little different by placing down grass or more thick grass or dirt, that kind of thing, soil, whatever you'd like to. There's different types of it, so you really want to blend things together. It'll take a little bit of time to make everything look right, but only time will tell how nice everything looks if you take a little bit of effort for it. I think this is blocked a little bit by the shadow, but I think we're going to go with this one here. I think this is really what we want it to look like that. So that looks a little more realistic. Again, it'd look even better if we were able to put down some, like for example, weeds or whatnot. But we'll kind of part ways with that, and we'll make it look like this. So we're going to make a path here. So let's go ahead and tab out or zoom out a little bit, and let's try to make a perfect dirt path. So you can see all the different types of materials that we can build with. This, of course, is the one for the dirt road. So we'll go ahead and build that there, and everything is blending together quite nicely. So you can see now we got a little parking area to our house, and we've got areas to pass by. And we can build different types of vehicle parking areas over here if we want to as well. Looks good so far. I like that. Let's go ahead and zoom in and see if we can make a pathway around the house. Looks like the house is actually really nicely connected, but I'm going to make a small little pathway here, a little dirt pathway. See if we can back up some of these bushes here and kind of give ourselves a little bit of more breathing room around the house and make things look a little more realistic. Of course, if this were a real house, we'd be able to place bushes pretty much anywhere we wanted and really make it look a lot more alive. But this is a much welcomed addition to Farming Sim 19 for sure, especially since we can edit maps on the fly. And as our income grows, so can our farm. All right, well, this looks really good so far. I'm going to make a little grassy area over here, just on the back, kind of make it look a little bit more grown. And that looks really nice to me. So let's go ahead and in fact, we can place trees down there later. We can plant one, or there's different mods for that kind of stuff. Let's build a little driveway here. I think this is like rock of some sort, like P-rock or something, gravel, essentially. And so we can make a little parking area here next to the house. And that'll be linked up to our, I think we could build maybe like a little area for parking vehicles. So look at that. Within a matter of seconds, we've made a beautiful looking house. And it just looks gorgeous. And it looks like it belongs here, and it fits so nicely. Look at that. I am very proud of this. So now with our placeable house, we can actually walk around, and we can go in through the front door. This is perfect, like a little, kind of like a little parking area here for the side of the house. And here's like the back door. Actually, this is kind of supposed to be the front door, but I think we'll make that our front door over there, right here to the kitchen. Actually, this is like a walkway. So I like this. This is much nicer. Just look at that. Boom, right there. We got a nice little view to the back of the house. We've got a little porch here as well where we can see everything. So it looks absolutely gorgeous. Really nice. But it doesn't connect from the side of the house. Oh yeah, the AC unit's in the way. But look at that, our porch. We can see everything from here. We got a beautiful little waterfall. It's really nice to look around. And of course, you can always sell your house and rotate it if you're not happy with that. You can do whatever you want. So I think that really looks good. A nice area to park our cars and such in the front of the house. This is my front door. Yeah, that looks like a really nice front door. Very cool. All right, let's get on to building a new structure. Let's go ahead and see what it's like to put down a shed. I think we would probably want to put a shed over here, so we can go with Easy Shed 1. Really nice to actually have a shed right next to our main house, as our equipment's going to be stored right over here. So I think what we can do is flatten out some of this area and blend it all together. In fact, I think it's mostly flat, so let's go ahead and put it right about here. And boom, there you go. The rock's already connected down to the ground. So let's go ahead and go back into landscaping. And let's build a nice little pathway that goes over there. I think we can do it with this spray paint. And I think this matches... Oh, it actually is a little different. So let's go ahead and build a P-rock path over here. I think that's more of a match there. And again, we can do this in square if we want to. We can make it look perfectly squared up if we want. And back to this tool. There we go. And now we can make a nice little pathway that kind of connects this way if we want to. Wow, that looks really nice. And so we can make a kind of a flattened vehicle parking area here. If we raise the size of our brush, check this out. Boom. Giant parking area now for a lot of our vehicles. Look at that. That looks nice. Then we can blend it together and really make it look functional. So let's try to kind of rough up some of the edges. And then we'll add a little bit more grass here. Go ahead and get a little more artistic with this. We'll shrink the size of our brush. And that looks wonderful. All right, now let's take a look at that. Perfect. So now we got an area for our vehicles to be parked and to be pulled into, and a kind of a dirt path around it, so it looks real nice. Everything's not perfect, of course, but I think if you go into the flatten land tool, we can do that. All right, well, we've already placed down two beautiful-looking buildings. Let's go for a silo now. Where would a grain silo fit? I think in the original game, the grain silo is over here. Well, let's put it somewhere different, where it really would look like it belongs. I think maybe over here it would look good. It seems like on one side is where you load, and one side is where you unload for the grain. So let's put that over here. And actually, let's put it at an angle. And let's put it right here. Wonderful. So look at that. So now if we're not happy with that ground type underneath, and look at that, it made like a real jagged edge to it. We can fix all that now. So let's go ahead and go back into the soil mode. Just find the right soil that's used. I think it's this one. Perfect. So now we can blend everything together. So let's get rid of that. That asphalt looks a little strange. There we go. There we go. Make a nice little pathway for that. Then we've got to go back into flattening mode now. Go back into our sculpting mode. There we go. And we'll smooth this out if we hold the middle mouse button. That's all we got to do. We can make it nice and flat. No jagged edges here. And we can raise the land a little bit and flatten it out some more. Now it's still going to be a little tough angle here, so let's see if we can raise it up. There we go. And flatten it out a little bit more. Alright, that should be good. Now we can make a little pathway going inside here, so let's switch back to paint. And there you go. All we got to do is just make this tiny little pathway all the way around this thing to make it look like it belongs. Much nicer to make this than some just arbitrary square. And that just kind of looks like it just belongs there a little bit more than if we were to do it the other way. Let's try to make some random grass around here. And we can shrink the path a little bit too. I think that was the one we wanted before. And that's the one we want. Alright. So then if we flatten this out a little bit, or make it look flatter with grass, it looks really nice. Let's go back to some regular grass. I think this is the one we're looking for. Wow, look at that. Not too bad. So we've got ourselves a vehicle storage area, our house, and a little bit of a starting of a grain silo. Of course, we can build several of these and put them elsewhere. And we can even go as detailed as making these small little paths like that really make things look realistic. Again, you're still going to get some sharp edges, but not too bad. Much, much better than it was before. And now we've got areas where we can kind of flatten out and make our own pathways. So that looks cool. So let's take a look from the sky view then of our, look at that. We got our farmhouse. That looks like it fits. And of course, if we don't like these roads over here, if we want to build a chicken coop back here, if we don't want anyone walking past there, boom, we get rid of it. We just make it regular grass. So let's actually try to make it look as if there's no path back here. Let's try to spray paint this again. We don't want that kind of ground. That actually looks like clipped grass. Let's go back to this function right here. And that's the one I think we want. There we go. All right, we'll connect all this up like this. And it'll look realistic with all the bushes and such around. It's all about blending. Blending is a very important thing to make it look realistic, so just keep that in mind. And we don't own that land there, so we won't go any further that way. There we go. Then we'll place some blotches there. And that should be good. Alright, well, would you look at that? Looks nice. So then we can actually place a building here if we want to make it look even more realistic. So let's go into that. Let's go to an animal pen, maybe a miscellaneous structure. We could actually put our vehicle workshop over here. Makes sense because we've got our vehicle storage right on that side. So if we put our vehicle storage right here, look at that. Now we can connect everything up. Let's go back to landscaping, back to our gravel. I think this is the one we want. Oh, the other type. There we go. Everything nicely connected. Now, if we could, I'd put fencing around here. Make everything look a little nicer, but it still looks pretty good. So let's make some random splotches that go out that direction. And let's add a little bit more random grass. Very nice. Look at that. Alright. I think we'll add some dirt here and more sand. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Well, would you look at that? So now it is a little it's cumbersome, I guess, or it takes a little bit of time, but it is not bad at all in order to build your farm here. So look at that. You spend about $2 million building your farm, and that is way more satisfying. We built this farm, literally. It wasn't one that was prefabbed or anything like that. We actually built it from scratch, and that's really satisfying. Now we can bring a building over here. We've got our little vehicle structure here. We can actually make a dirt pathway this way. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to go into time lapse, and I'm going to actually make this farm look a little bit nicer. So we're going to try to put down a chicken coop. We're going to try to put down some more buildings and make it look nice. So let's go into time lapse and see how this farm looks after we're done. Here we go. Well, would you look at that? No better way to honor the new farm than bringing in a big new piece of equipment. We got the Big Bud loaded up on the Kenworth W900A, and would you look at that? The farm is looking good. So I took about maybe, I don't know, 45 minutes or so just to quickly design this farm. And for this being a kind of a quick run on a beta, this looks really, really nice. And again, you can customize your farm any way you want, including adding additional silos elsewhere too. So we don't even have to have the silos here, but adding a few buildings that kind of are just decorative really makes all the difference. You can see here we've smoothed out a majority of the land, and it looks pretty good. Again, it's not perfect, but it actually looks really nice, and I like it a lot. We got additional parking on either side of the barn. We've got several areas in order to park some of our equipment, including the Big Bud here. And we moved a lot of bushes around so that way we got plenty of room. So huge harvesters can move through here. We got plenty of room for, you know, a tractor with I don't know, a header trailer or something to swing around, or of course our tractor trailer here to offload the Big Bud. So from nothing to something, not too bad, I must say. So yeah, there's our $50 million farm. We've only spent a little bit of money, but again, we can additionally add to our farm by going to the map and buying any other territories that we want. For example, we could buy Field 9 and build a farm out there, make a couple of dirt roads, and get started out there by building our home and our garages, sheds, and everything else out there rather than starting down here. Nothing says you have to start down here. You can turn this into a, I don't know, you can turn it into a grazing ground for cow or something like that if you want to put a couple of cow pastures down here and flatten out the land and get rid of the fields. It is totally up to you. I'm really going to be impressed to see what the community does here in the next couple of days in order to get everything hunky-dory. But anyway, I'm home with my new toy. We got our Big Bud 450 here. Again, if you want to download any of these mods or how to get the cheats or see some more tutorials, all you got to do is click or tap that subscribe button and click or tap that like button as well to let me know you want to see more. Man, Big Bud can fly. Look at that. Very nice area here. Now we can customize our Big Bud. We can bring it right over here and customize it any way we want to. Well, we want to definitely not crash through the door. But check that out. So right here we can customize all of our vehicles any way we want to. We can switch out to the standard tires or anything else we want to do. Perfect. So if we want to, for example, switch a vehicle from wide tires to thin tires to do some fertilizing, boom, right here, already at our disposal. So that is it for our look at the landscaping. I'm going to come back and do some more as well on some of the other maps. So I hope you enjoyed the quick little tutorial on how to do things. Again, with a little bit more time, we can make things look a little more smooth, and there are limitations to the game. You can see I added a little bit of dirt there to make it look like, look at how detailed you can make it look like water's running, that it's all muddy. So that's a lot of fun. Thank you everyone for being here. I'm going to be back for more landscaping and building more farms in Farming Simulator 19. We're going to spend all of this money here on stuff eventually, but I'm really happy that we have yet another $50 million to build whatever we want and make everything look nice. Only complaint is that we can not go in some of these buildings, but it'd be nice to actually have some sort of functionality for some of these areas to store things. But hey, at least these are perfect areas to store seed, and we can put down some bunkers for silage as well. Plenty more to do in this game, and plenty more room to do it by just flattening out some of the terrain. In fact, I would probably get rid of this field here, build ourselves a bunker over there, and do much, much more. So for this being a quick look, I think it turned out great, and again, this will be available very soon. So if you want to start doing all your stuff here today, hell, we could even cut out the space here and put a nice bunker right there, get rid of this field altogether, and put some sheep over there and make everything look nice. All right, that's it for now, everybody. Again, take care. I'll see you next time for more Farming Simulator 19 as we build more. And I guess we'll go to Feldsbrunn next, and I'll even live stream this too. So remember to click or tap that notification bell. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye, everyone.